What's up, everyone? ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the Mythic Legion's Advent of Decay. This is Balaam. You can pronounce his name Balaam or Balaam. I think it just kind of depends on where you are, what kind of terminology you use, or, I mean, there's no incorrect way. I've actually looked this up to how to pronounce this name. You can pronounce it Balaam or Balaam. It's kind of like that like, I don't know if I'm not into guns that much, but I have heard people use different terminology for like caliber or calibre. Also, what you call it? There's other different types of names that you can use that use different types of terminology or pronunciation throughout. So I'm just going to go with Balaam. I actually looked up that's kind of the English way of saying things. Balaam, I want to say, is a little bit more, I want to say, more European, maybe into Asia, as they would pronounce Balaam. But there's different pronunciations for the name. So I'm just going to stick with Balaam in case there's any kind of confusion as to why I'm calling him. There was a couple of gripes with people, or the people had with me with pronouncing some of the names a certain way. It might just be the way I speak. I'm on the East Coast. I don't know. Or, I don't think there's a designated 100% wrong way to say these names. But that was a gripe that some people had. So I just wanted to clarify that right now. So if I do pronunciate a word a specific way, that's pretty much my little spiel there as far as why. But here we have Balaam. He looks really good. He does use that older style body, the same body that, or similar style body, not 100% same, but to the 1.0 wave, I would say close to Sir Gideon over there. Sir Gideon Heavensbrand. 100% wrong name, Balaam. I looked up the pronunciation, though, Slippery, and it did say, I even typed it into, and it said either Balaam or Balaam. So I'm not sure, but I'm gonna stick with Balaam. I guess it's kind of a, I don't know, a subjective thing. But Zorpox, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome, everyone, to the live review. If you're just tuning in, here we have Balaam. He is a mage. Pretty cool looking. I like him a lot. Actually, a lot more than I thought I was going to. When I saw this character, I was just kind of like, okay. We're getting a new head and we're getting a tail, and it's just we're going on the old body. We're even getting the reused mage staff right here, or sorcerer staff, whatever term you want to coin it. But I think he looks good overall. I think it's a nice reuse here. Everything works well on this body, but he looks pretty cool. He does use some different types of skills. Some skills that might be a little bit stereotypical due to his his race, but basically he's pretty awesome. And we got a lot of mages and a lot of sorcerers. I'll just use the term sorcerer. We got a lot of mages, sorcerers within this wave. I want to say maybe more. Even the fantastic exclusive, the fan exclusive one was a mage also. I don't think I'm going to use her as a mage, seeing as I don't know. Between the Blood Knight and this one, I always put my Blood Knight with my vampires for some reason. I don't know. It's just like the blood and the Blood Knight and the vampires. I feel like they just go together. I don't know. It's just me, but I think it's pretty cool. I think the Blood Knight's pretty much on his own, but I digress. I don't want to go off on a tangent there. But he looks really good. I'm pretty pleased with the paint deco on him. His staff, his sorcerer staff, looks really good. It is a reuse, like I said, from previous, like Torian and a couple other mages in the past that have used it. It is rather used quite heavily in this wave this staff, even with the upper piece being reused quite a bit. I believe the fan exclusive, the girl, Raven, yes, or something. I'll have to go back and look at her name and how that's pronounced. I mean, I know a lot of people are very nitpicky about how I pronounce these names, but you know, get over it or bear with me. But he looks really cool. I really dig the paint scheme on him. I think it's pretty consistent going throughout. It's kind of like this, almost like it's like a purple, like a deep, deep metallic purple. It looks really good. But I like his weaponry that he comes with too. He comes with a newly sculpted weapon, and he also comes with the reused. I don't want to call it a short sword because I don't really think that would be the technical term for it. But you know, here it is, and the blade is actually painted in the this kind of like a, I don't know, like a bluish color, bluish green, almost like a turquoise kind of color. The handle is just a gold, as I'm dropping the sword now. What is that? Okay, that was just a fuzz from the packaging. Nice gold on that side, gold on this side. So pretty cool with that. Good job on the paint deco for that. 4 Horsemen. He does come with 3 back adapters. I'm not going to go ahead and show those because I've shown them enough. So, but he also comes with a kind of, I like to call it the geared up head. The all armored head, which we've seen with, you know, the Templar Knights in the past, and I believe even Sir Gideon came with an extra one of these heads. It was just, obviously the paint deco was completely different, but it looks pretty good. I like it. You can have this on his head. I'll put it on later. I like the paint deco on the plume. The plume looks really good. It's a nice like turquoise color. Looks really nice. My lighting is not doing it justice right now, just so you know. But I think it looks good. I like the gold with the purple. It looks really nice. The gold and the purple is consistent throughout the rest of the body as well for Balam. I think that looks really good. So, but to me, I mean, like, to have Balam with that head on, I think it kind of like maybe defeats the purpose of having Balam. Unless you wanted to take this helmet, keep it on him, and if you have 2 of this guy, you could remove the tail, put that head on, and you know, get rid of his staff here, and you could turn him into a knight of your own if you wanted to. If you like the paint deco enough, if you like the color scheme, if you like the overall body for your knight, having this being one of your knights, you could go with that. You could totally go with that. But to me, I'm going to keep him as is. I think he looks pretty good like this. And it's nice that we're getting more and more goodies on the good side as far as wizards go and mages and this, that, and the other. But I'm pretty pleased with having him. It's nice that we got more mystical, magic-wielding characters. I think that it makes sense to have more of these exist. And then here is his packaging. I'm just going to scoot him out of the way for a second. I'm not trying to rush through this review too much, but I do want to get certain aspects out of the way in the beginning of the review. So here's the packaging. We've seen this numerous times before. I kind of want to include this in every review just so you have it. But here is the side of the packaging. Here is a nice little picture of Balam on this on the side of the packaging, and then up close and personal, nice little read up. So there's his little read up. If you're watching this on playback and you're not watching it live, you can pause it and read it if you need to, or fast forward through this because I'm actually holding this up long enough where my live viewers can read it. Okay, so there's the read up. Here is his clan insignia. Pretty cool insignia, if I do say so myself. And then, as always, here is the back of the packaging. Looks beautiful. I like it. I think I actually like the back of this packaging a little bit better. The artwork looks really good. The artwork's very consistent. I gotta keep saying that. I say that in like every single one of these reviews. Consistency. There is a whole lot of consistency within this line. I do have to say that. I think it's consistency, and it's well, yeah, I would say that consistency is the main 100% top tier, and that's a good thing to have, consistency within your line. This line's very consistent when it comes to, you know, what type of characters you're expecting, stuff like that. So, pretty cool. Maybe one day we'll be fortunate enough to actually get these figures in store. You know, maybe it'll blow up enough where, and that would have to, it would have to get a lot of funding to do that. But you know, you don't want to hold out hope too, you know, too much. Okay, there we go. So he looks good. I really like the head sculpt on him. The his one eye, I don't know what it is, but his one eye though, I think it's this eye. I don't know whether it's the type of paint that they used mixing with the sculpt, but it's just like, it's like shiny. I don't know. Here, I'll try to show you guys what I'm talking about. It's like shiny when you get right there. If you could see the shine going underneath the eyelid, like right here. It's like a little bit of shine right there. It almost looks like his eye's derpy, but it's not. It's just the shine from the paint is just so glossy that they actually, or maybe it's the clear coat. I don't know. But it looks really good, though. It actually gives him a little bit extra character, you know. But here is his face sculpt up close and personal. Let me adjust my lighting here so you guys can see that. And I'll try not to shake the figure all over the place, so hold it steady. But there you go. There is the close-up of his face. Let me get, I'm going to actually just pop this head off. There we go. Perfect. I even wanted this to come off with that. Ooh, I found my tweezers. There we go. Perfect. Now you have to see my silly fat hands in the way. That head sculpt is gorgeous. Such great detail. All the spots look really good. I don't have any issue with paint running or anything like that. I mean, I think with these figures, it's pretty safe to say that the quality control as far as the paint apps for the faces, I've never had really an issue with any of that. I'm trying to rotate this while holding the tweezers, so I apologize if I'm moving it too much. Here we go. It's not an easy thing to do, to reach over the camera while rotating this thing with tweezers in your hand. But yeah, I've never really had an issue with any of the face paint or the paint on the face, which a lot of other companies that you see have that issue. I'm looking at you, DC Essentials. But great face sculpt. I love it. Yeah, there's definitely like some, it's definitely like a clear coat going over those eyes to give it that little bit of shine as I'm looking at him up close, off camera here, but up close nonetheless. But he looks great. I already showed you the helmet. I showed you the sword. I showed you his staff, which I'll show you again in better detail. We do have a darker gold here for the staff. Bentley, how's it going? We do have a little bit of like a metallic blue going on these little pieces for the top of the staff. Looks really nice. There's some black paint shading going throughout these little symbols right here on the top of the staff. Looks really good. And then over here, some black paint shading going throughout this section right here. And then pretty much going throughout all the way down the staff. So we got some nice black shading paint apps, some dry brushing going throughout that as well. And then the bottom of the staff is just pretty much just like a gold. So that's his staff. And then we have his little bit of like it's like a sickle sword type deal. Looks pretty cool. This is a newly sculpted weapon here. Comes in the weapons pack as well as with this figure. The blade is consistent with the sword I just showed you as far as the paint apps go. We do have a little bit of, let me get my pointer out here. We do have a little bit right here of, if this will focus. Sorry, buddy, you got to go. A little bit of a paint issue right here on the handle. Oh my God, this thing will not focus for me. There we go. The wonders of editing. Now, if this was an edited review, you wouldn't have seen any of that. But there you go. It's just something I have to point out. So, pretty cool. I like it. He can hold everything in his hands. Let me just get everything in there. Just to note, it's not a big deal, but I do have to point it out as a reviewer. The staff does tend to stretch his hand out a little bit. It's nothing horrible. You can just simply use the power of your own hand and push his hand, close it back up so to where he can hold everything. Here he is with both of his weapons in his hand. So there you go with that. He does hold them. But yeah, like I said, due to the girth of his... Oops, there goes his hand. Due to the girth of the staff, the further up the staff you go, the girthier it gets, and therefore it's going to stretch out the hand a little bit. But none to worry. You can just simply use either some hot or cold method, and that will fix the hand, or you can simply just use some pressure with your hand to get his hand to close back up, so it's not a big deal there. But there he is with all of his accessories in his hands and everything. Looks really good. As far as Balam's articulation does go, his head can swivel a full 360 rotation. Even with the collar piece on and everything, nothing really gets in the way too much, or you can work with that. The arms do go up, and I'm actually going to take this shoulder pad off. And that's about maxed out right there with the shoulder pad off. Down, full 360 rotation at the arm. He's got a single bend at the elbow. He does have a swivel at the elbow. He has a swivel at the gauntlet, a swivel at the wrist, hinge joint. He does have that kind of lower diaphragm joint, waist swivel, pivot side to side, does crunch forward and back, and that's pretty much it. As far as the head goes, it can look down about that far. It does look up about that far. This is about neutral. So there you go with that. It can pivot side to side. And let's see if we got some... Oh, we got some jive turkeys up in here. So there you go, jive turkeys. He does have... He can do the splits, excuse me. Legs go forward. Not that far. They do go back. Single jointed knee. Knee swivel. Thigh swivel. Ankle swivel. Ankle hinge, which points to heel, points to toe, ankle pivot. 2 peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and he does have a little ball socketed joint for his tail, so you can swivel the tail. You can move the tail up a little bit, move the tail down. So there you go with his full range of motion with articulation. You don't necessarily have to have the shoulder pads on. Like I said, this is a modular figure. You can take this off. You can pop the head off. You can pop this off. We all know the spiel with these at this point, if you are remotely a collector or have any general information of these. And here's what he looks like with pretty much nothing really on there. And I don't think it actually looks awkward. I mean, from the side, it looks a little awkward. But from the front, I think he looks fine with even no collar piece on and no shoulder armor on. So I think it looks fine. You know, it's not too bad. You can duck his head down a little bit more if you want to cover that neck up. Does look a little skinny from the side. Kind of looks like it's just a cat head on a regular neck. But, you know, use your imagination. It's not that big of a deal. As far as the other head on the neck joint, I might have to use some heat on this, which is what I'm going to do. Okay. That should do it, and it does it. And it did it. And it's done. Ooh, that is a tight fit. There we go. Here is Ballum with his helmeted head on. And the plume on. Looks pretty good. No issues there. But like I said, I gotta have him with his regular head on. Oh my god, that is a tight joint. There we go. A little poppage. Little pop, snap, popple. There we go. And he's got his regular head on. Now, the other cool thing is, if you wanted to have him, like I said, if you want to have him just be like a regular knight and you don't really want this character to be this character, you can pop the head off, put the helmeted head on, and you can even remove this tail, and this little pad right here kind of covers the hole. So it doesn't take away your, I guess, kayfabe of what you want your character to be. So that's a cool little thing that you can do. I'm going to gear him back up really quick, and then we will move on to the next thing, which is sculpt and paint detail. I want to get a little bit in depth with that. And I'm going to put his shoulder pads back on. And we'll put this on. You should have gotten 3 of these guys. 2 with helmeted heads. Yeah, you could totally go that route. Yeah, absolutely. That's okay, man. I mean, you can always pick them up down the road. It's, you know, I know you probably don't want to spend $50 a figure, you know, but there is that option out there if you do change your mind. You know, it probably would have helped if this guy was a Legion builder, but you know, he is not a Legion builder. He is not. But okay, as far as sculpt and detail go, I think the obviously we know the highlights here of this figure. It's really the head. To me, this is the new piece, and it's the tail. The tail looks really good. I like that it's hidden over this little flap right here. If you do lift up the flap, that's what it looks like. It's just kind of like a hole coming out of his rear end. But covered up, I think it looks really good. I think it would have been a nice little improvement if we would have got some, you know, maybe some pawed feet for a cat for this instead of the armored feet. I think that would have made sense. I'm still looking forward to maybe down the line them giving us some inverted legs, kind of like a dog's leg or a cat's leg. How it's kind of like, you know, a little bit like I don't know. I don't know what the technical term would be. A little bit inverted, I guess I'll go with. How it would be shaped like a cat or shaped like a dog, or but it looks really good though overall. Even with the armor on. Maybe we'll get some attachment pieces down the road, and maybe like an attachment pack. Maybe like that same kind of idea that I've been saying in previous videos of mine in these review series. It would be nice to get like a heads pack, like different types of heads, like unmasked heads for the humans and unmasked heads for masked characters that, you know, you maybe want to give a little bit more character to, make it a little bit more personalized for yourself, or hell, just make your own character. You know, there's that options. I mean, we've already got the options to be modular and switch out different pieces and do this and that with this line. That's its strong point. But it'd be nice to maybe customize a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And I don't think that that's really outside the realm of being reasonable. Marauders has done it, and they almost kind of follow the same motif as Marauders. Marauders and Mythic Legions they kind of went neck and neck as far as, you know, starting Kickstarters around the same time and doing themed stuff. I know it's not the exact themes, like Marauders is all about military and stuff like that, but this is more on the mythical side, sword and sandals, or whatever term you want to coin it. But I think it would make sense to start giving us a little bit more of that. Maybe instead of keeping it as a pre-order, maybe offer it as a in-store exclusive for like Store Horsemen. This way, you know, they could stock these type of things. They're smaller things. It's not as grotesquely a large commodity to come by, as far as like obviously the tooling, and obviously you'd save money even on tooling, because you don't have to worry about, you know, maybe retooling a new body for that head. You could just take that head, even though it's a really newly tooled head. It's just a head, you know. Oops, sorry, ding dong. There we go. Dinner's ready. But good for collectors, not for a company. Well, you know, to each their own. That's what you think, but I would have to disagree. I think it would be good for collectors and the company, because I feel like you know, it's supply and demand, and these are on high demand. So I don't know. That's why these figures on eBay go for $100, because people want them that badly. Where some people actually spend $100 per figure, which is insane to me. I wouldn't do that. So it's a $28 figure. So, but you know, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine, and we'll go from there. As far as the they'd rather have a full set. Well, I mean, like I said, that's your opinion. That's not 100% a fact. So, like I said, you're entitled to your opinion, but that's all she is. Anyway, moving on here, we have the head looks really good. I went through the head already. The armor is different from Sir Gideon's, which I'll actually show really quick. It is on the larger, bulkier side. So we've seen this before. The body, as far as running down the body, this is a pretty much like a 1.0 body reused, repainted in a different deco to fit the scheme of this character. So it looks really good, though. I like it how we have some turquoise mixed with some purple and some gold. It looks really good. I'm pretty pleased with it, to be honest with you. And then we have the consistency with the, you know, the print for this tiger, excuse me, throughout the tail. Looks really good. Looks just really just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. How would I describe the shade of the armor in hand? It's kind of like I mentioned this earlier in the review. It's a metallic purple mixed with a turquoise and a gold, like a flat gold. And then it's consistent with the studs is the gold, the lines going through, and then you've got your kind of, I want to say that's like it is like kind of like a metallic turquoise almost. It's not a flat turquoise. I guess in certain areas it's got a little shine to it. But yeah, the purple isn't just like a flat purple. It's definitely a metallic purple. Looks really good. The gold on the back of his knees looks really good, and they even went with a gold plastic here, which I think makes a lot more sense, and this is what I've been asking for. Stop painting inside the joints, which either makes them too tight or too loose. Stop painting in besides the joints and just joint match that with the paint. It doesn't have to be 100% on, but as long as the joint is close to this, it doesn't, you know, break up the I guess the sculpt or anything like that, as far as you know, directing your eyes towards something that's an imperfection, you know. The chainmail looks really good. It's kind of like almost like I'm trying to get in here. It really is almost like let's say like a gold mixed with like a charcoal grayish
silver almost, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes any sense actually. But it looks really good. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with how this figure turned out. As far as articulation, as far as getting those wrist joints made a little bit better. They are an improvement over the 1.0s. The 1.0 figures had an issue of him, had an issue of the wrist joints constantly wanting to pop out of place, where this new sculpt, they kind of fixed that with a little bit of a snap feature. They put a little bit of a ring on the back end of the peg for the wrist, so it doesn't want to pop out. I would like to see down the line if they just maybe extended that, maybe made the hole a little bit deeper on the gauntlet, the wrist piece, just so you could, you know, get a little bit better of a feel for that wrist never wanting to fall out, you know? Like I said, these are all just suggestions. They're not something that I'm saying, oh my God, the line's awful because it doesn't have that. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying these are just little suggestions for maybe improvements down the line that maybe, you know, the Four Horsemen could go with, you know. I like the company. I like the figures. Overall, I would definitely give this a 2 thumbs up, even though it is a reused body. But, you know, who cares? The sculpting looks really good. The paint applications look really good. I love the new head sculpt. I love the tail. And, yeah, definitely a 2 thumbs up. I would definitely recommend picking this up. This guy actually took me by surprise. And he was probably lower on the totem pole as far as getting new sculpts, new bodies, stuff like that. Getting new weaponry, new heads. He was on the bottom end of that totem pole. I was looking forward to a lot more characters, but he's a really good one. I liked it. I already put the helmet on there, buddy, but you might have showed up to the live review a little bit late. So if you want to go back and check, you can do that. But I already put the helmeted head on. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Let me see if there's any other type of. I'm just checking through the comment log here. Yeah. That I don't think that's necessarily true at all, actually. And I'm referring to you would love a head pack, but it's just not going to happen. Think they would rather sell you a full figure instead of getting the head that you want. Well, that's kind of thrown out of the window. I mean, they offer you weapons packs. So what would be the difference between a weapons pack that can go with any other figure or a head that can go with any other figure? There's no difference there. Marauders has done it. It's kind of the thing to do. These are supposed to be, you know, modular, and they're not. I mean, while they are giving you characters, there's a ton of people like me that have customize their own characters. You don't have to give them everything that they come with because that's what they come with. You can customize these figures any way you want. So, I don't know. That's, yeah, a weapons pack is not a head pack. That doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter. It does not matter. That's what these Kickstarter figures are all about: modularity, all about customization. So, if you want to offer less, then you're giving your audience less, and it's already a very niche audience to be on top of that. So I think offering that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I'm sure the majority of people, even though you disagree, would agree with me that they would love a heads pack. And I think it makes sense business-wise. It is a of each other. It's to make money and to make collectors happy. So, and I'm a collector on my own, and you're saying that you would want it too, but you're saying business doesn't make sense. But if enough people want it and it'll make money, they'll sell it. Trust me. That's just the way business works. It's supply and demand. It's not, pick and choose, Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. So, with that being said,
at the end of the day, we can all have, difference of opinion. That's all cool. I still respect the hell out of you for having difference of opinion. That's the best thing. See, that's what I want more of within these live reviews, within, my channel, within my community. I want you guys to be able to speak your mind. I want to have difference of opinion. You know what I mean? You think one way, that's all good, man. It's all cool. My way is not only the highway. You know what I mean? It's all good. So you can have your own opinion. That's cool. I respect your opinion too. But as far as what I'm saying is, I from facts, I know that if something is factually, if there is a demand for it and the cost isn't exponential, then they'll do it as a company if they know it's going to make money and people want it. And these guys and the Four Horsemen listen to their fans. They really do. At the end of the day, that a lot of these are done for them. They wanted this line, and they wanted this because fans wanted this. We wanted a Motu line that was a little bit more realistic and a little bit more for grown-ups, and that's pretty much what this is. So, like I said, at the end of the day, we're all going to think our own way. It's cool, but yeah, I know. Hey, Andy, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, the head sculpt looks great on this, but I don't mean to go off on a tangent there. Like I said, I don't want anybody to get misconstrued. I'm trying to tell you how to think or anything like that, because there are constant misconceptions of when a reviewer says one thing and then it's taken a different way. So I don't want anything misconstrued here. So anyway, I digress. I didn't want to turn this into a debate, but this is supposed to be a review about Ballum, and he's a great figure. Like I said, go pick him up if you have the funds. He's going to run you around $50 in Big Bad Toy Store. Pre-order is still up until the end of December of 2018, I believe. And then they're supposed to be released December, I think. I want to say, it says fourth quarter, but, it could go into next year. It all depends on what Big Bad Toy Store decides to do. None of their pre-order dates are official. It always says that in their little warning or their little attention box if you read through the order. Anyway, but I digress. I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much to everybody who popped in here, and I don't want to be rude, so I will say thank you to Zorpox, and thank you to Darkness GTR1 and Slippery Squeef, Bentley. Thank you. And Baromba. Thank you. Hey, man. I still appreciate it. And Eric, thank you. And Derek. Eric and Derek. I always say those two names together. Eric and Derek. And Andy. Thank you. Thanks, buddy. Thank everybody for the continued support. Hit that like button. It helps me. It's an easy thing to do to be positive, stay positive. Hit the like button. Helps me. It's free for you. It doesn't cost you a dime. If you like this, if you like the channel and you want to continue to support me, I don't ask for a Patreon. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for any of that. I just ask for your continued support and to maybe help my channel grow a little bit more. That's all. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for the continued support. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit the bell twice for notifications. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.